Welcome everyone, Camel here with the Magicka Templar PvE build for the Dragonbones DLC patch. I got this build from Next Shizzle. He's a very good healer in my guild, and he shared all the information he thought was necessary with me to share with you guys, so let's just get right into it. Magicka Templars are basically the best healer in the game right now. Wardens are pretty good too, but these have them beat by quite a bit, and next patch, even with all the updates to other classes for healing, I don't see Templar getting displaced. So, first of all, we are an Argonian. Resourceful is a great passive. We get more max magicka. It helps us sustain so much because when we drink potions, we get an extra 4.6k health, magic, and stam. When we drink a spell power pot, we already get 7.5 magicka, or 7.5k magicka. So we'll ultimately get about 12k thanks to the passive, which is great for sustain, right? Basically, if we have potions up, we really can't run out of magicka. So this is quite strong. Quick to mend is also great. We get increased healing done and received. Very strong on a healer, obviously, because we get more healing done. Max health is nice, for sure, and poison disease can only help. This is obviously useless. Anyway, as for our gear, we run 2 ability altering staves, Masters Resto with powered and absorb magicka to help sustain and to increase our healing done. The Masters gives us more stamina and our allies more stamina when we heal with like AoE healing like this. Okay. Or I suppose this counts too. Basically it's gonna help the stamina DD sustain a lot. And the tank, of course. But whenever we use this, like healing springs, which is pretty often, we give them 258 stamina. The initial heal doesn't have a cooldown or anything, so we can just keep using this over and over. Like if I use this like 5 times, it's a whole 1k stamina. That's a lot. So this will help all the stamina DDs sustain a lot more. If your group doesn't have a whole lot of stamina damage dealers, you might want to run the Asylums instead. Again, powered and absorb magicka. But when we cast this, we get to use more orbs, so that's very nice too. Ultimately, it's situational, and it's up to you. This is probably the slightly stronger option in most scenarios, but in specific scenarios where you have less stamina or whatever, this might be the better option. The Maelstroms, Lightning Staff, Destruction Staff, because we need to cast Ellie Drain. But this is the best you could use as far as Destro Staffs go for Elemental Blockade, because if we ever light attack or heavy attack, we get a bonus damage, which is nice. Blockade's obviously nice to set the target off balance, since most magicka damage dealers are using Inferno Wall now, rather than Lightning Wall. So we need Blockade of Storms rather than Blockade of Fire. Because even though Blockade of Fire will do more damage, like always, Blockade of Storms can set them off balance, which lets you get more resources back when you heavy attack. It's actually double. It's quite a bit. It also gives us minor vulnerability because it's shock damage, which is more damage overall for the other healer, for the other damage. So this is quite important. Luckily, if you don't have this, because this is kind of hard to get, especially if you like only play healer, you don't really need the Maelstrom staff either. It's just nice to have for extra DPS, which is always great, but it's not like the end of the world if you don't have it, because we're not trying to do the absolute max damage on healer. We are to an extent, obviously, because you always want more damage, but this won't impact your healing ability if you don't have this. Like, it's not going to change, it won't break you like it might a damage dealer. We have Weakening and Infused. So Infused makes Weakening a lot better, and it reduces the cooldown, which is nice. Weakening is great, because when we like light attack or heavy attack the enemy, they lose almost 500 damage, right? Which is great. Because let's say you use this, and some dude just got hit by the boss and gets sent flying back. He might have like 1k health left, where otherwise he'd be dead. So that's pretty nice to have. As far as our actual gear that we wear, Spell Power Cure is like pretty much a must. Whenever we heal from 100%, which is often, especially at the start of the fight, we have a 50% chance to increase the weapon and spell damage by 258 for 10 seconds. That's quite strong. Like when we start the fight, if we heal them, it will give our DDs extra damage to burst down the boss with. And if we're healing right with our rotation with the other healer, they should already be at full health a lot. Like, obviously, there's going to be times where they won't be, but for the most part, most of your group will be at full health if you're healing correctly. Most of the time. Which means we can get pretty nice uptime on this. This is a big damage increase, so you want to run this. Our second 5-piece. There's like 3 really good options here. I'll go over all of them. Worm Cult gives the group 4% cost reduction for their Magicka abilities. That's everyone in the group, not like 2 or 3, all 12 people, including yourself. This helps sustain a lot, not only for us, but for the other Magicka damage dealers and tanks too, if they need to use some Magicka abilities. Quite a strong set. Bending is the other 5-piece, or possible 5-piece. When you use an AoE heal, like this, we can reduce the enemy's weapon damage by almost 450, which is a lot, actually. This can save people, like in a clutch moment. Maybe I know a huge damage isn't coming. I'll just Healing Springs and perhaps save someone's life. You can combine healing and damage mitigation in one. One of 2 healers should probably run this at all times, but figure it out. Yorvolt's another good set if we use, which we do, Aggressive Warhorn. This will increase from like 10 seconds of major force and minor toughness and magicka and stamina to like 14.5 seconds of critical damage increase with major force and like 40 seconds of toughness, magicka, and stamina. That is really strong, like really strong. If you combine this with Master Architect, which you probably shouldn't, but if you did, you also would give them more Major Slayer, which is crazy strong. It also helps our shield last longer. It's a very strong set. It's very new. It just came out this DLC, and it hasn't probably been used too often, but I could see this being easily one of the BIS sets. Like, the extra 5-ish seconds on major crit damage, major force, is really good. So don't underestimate this at all. Situational though, all these are situational. Worm Cult is probably the least situational. It's like kind of like a slap on and forget type thing, but you want to make sure to be using one of these 3 sets along with Spellpower Cure. We have we should have 1 cost reduction here, but you don't have to necessarily. But you want at least 2 Magicka Recovery Glyphs. We don't need spell damage, and 1 or just 3 Magicka Recovery, but you can also run 1 cost reduction. We run the Atronach Stone, which gives us more Magicka Recovery. As you can see, we have like 25k Magicka Recovery, which is really strong, like will sustain really well. Pretty important. We run Witch Mothers because this gives us more Magicka Recovery. It's another reason we run Infused on 3 body pieces, or 2 if you want to, with Tristat, because then we can get more health that way. Makes us less squishy. Also, we can get more stamina if we need to dodge roll or block, break free, etc. Skills. Aggressive Warhorn I kind of already covered. Solar Prison, we use this to mitigate damage. It's really nice. For example, let's say you're fighting the mage in Execute. You want to time Solar Prison with the other healer so that you're not like, if you both cast at the same time, that kind of sucks. But if you can make sure to cast one and then the other, on cooldown, this is 30% less damage from the boss for 10 seconds, which is really good. This is kind of a must-have. If you don't have this, your group is going to die a lot more often, so make sure you run this. Combat Prayer gives Minor Berserk 8% more damage, must-have. Luminous Shards, more sustain, because if they activate a synergy with it, they'll get more mag and stand back. Very important. Healing Springs, big AoE heal, probably our main form of healing overall. Make sure you're standing it yourself too. If it's like all the way over here and you're not getting it, you're going to be more squishy. So it's pretty important that you are affected by your own healing springs as well. Focuses around the tank and make sure that damage dealers are getting hit, and make sure to coordinate with the other healer to make sure you guys are matching up your springs the right way. Breath of Life. This is our oh shit button. Like if someone's about to die, we use this. Very important. Energy Orbs. Right? Oh, one more thing about Breath of Life. You don't want to use this in like the regular rotation because it is kind of expensive compared to like healing springs. You use this only if someone's going to die, hence the oh shit button. Like you press this, big burst heal, save someone's life. Energy orbs, or balls, or whatever. We use 3 of these in a rotation before we war swap. They heal for a lot, and someone can activate a synergy to get more mag and stam. It's like almost 4k if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's like 4k mag and stam, which is a lot. So it's going to help sustain quite a bit. Channel Focus, this when we're standing in this, we get more Magicka back, and we get Ward and Resolve, which is important. But mostly this helps sustain quite a bit. Elemental Drain helps us sustain because of minor Magicka steal. It helps the other stam sustain. I mean Magicka sustain because of Magicka steal. And it gives Major Breach, which produces spell resistance by like 5.2k, almost 5.3k. Very strong. Harness Magicka. We use this if there's incoming damage, right? So let's say the boss is going to hit us really hard. We use Harness Magicka and we block. Breath of Life, again, have us on both bars for oh shit moments. And I kind of already went over Blockade, but again, it's nice passive damage, off balance, minor vulnerability, and light attack, bonus damage, etc. Champion points. 85 Blessed, 85 Elfborn. This improves our crit healing and improves our healing overall. Very important. 30 Elemental Expert. This is nice for our wall to do more damage. So keep that in mind. We don't have anything here. 40 Thaumaturge just increases our damage with shards and wall. You don't need to have like 100 here, so you might as well have some here. You could probably play around with Ellie Expert and Thaumaturge though, but Thaumaturge will probably be more damage than Expert overall to have more remain. Green Tree, 75 Arcanist for more sustain, 43 Tenacity in case we need the heavy attack, which we should anyway for the major mending buff from the Restoration Staff passive. Warlord to break free, Tumbling, and Shadow Ward to block and roll dodge easier. The Red Tree, you can play around with this. We have 49, 49, 49. 56 Ironclad, 21 Spell Shield. Again, adjust this to your needs in a trial. 16 quick recovery to help us be a little less squishy. In terms of actual rotation, start with Combat Prayer, Luminous Shards, Healing Springs. If we need to, we use this, but most likely we don't. Orb, 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 Bar Swap, Channel Focus, Ellie Drain if needed, Blockade. We only use Harness Magicka and Breath of Life in moments where we actually have to use it, right? Like, we're not using this consistently. Otherwise, our sustain will be lowered quite a bit. Like, we have a lot of recovery, but you don't want to push it too much, especially in like a really dire situation. Also, spend too long on the back bar, and Minor Berserk will fall off, which will result in more of a DPS loss for the team. Like, you want it to be quick, like this. And you want to block cast the orbs. And that was only 1 second to fall off, and that was me going slow to show it a little easier. Basically, I'll go over it again slowly. Combat Prayer, Luminous Shards, Healing Springs, Orb times 3, Swap, Channel Focus, Drain if needed, Blockade, Repeat. Fairly simple, but we don't only do rotations, you know what I mean? Like, if someone's going to die, we have to watch for that. Being a healer requires a lot of situational awareness, so we'd have to use Breath of Life sometimes. Make sure it's all good. Overall, big thanks to Neck on this build. I wouldn't know what to say, and it would have been harder for you guys to get the resource out of this if he wasn't here to give me all the information on this. It's quite a strong healing build. I've seen it myself firsthand, do a lot of work in trials. Give this a whirl. See you all next time. Goodbye.